Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit, because he was fucking useless.
That was Joy Division. That was us definitely not breaking any copyright laws whatsoever.
Not at all. You should listen to what the man says, though. Listen to what he says.
Listen to what he says.
Because we are...
Episode 32.
32. Now, this might be a bit different, because obviously we're on Skype, which is a bit... we're practising social isolation, Tone.
We are.
Where are you, Tony, at the minute?
I'm sat in my lazy boy, in my reindeer pyjamas.
You not even got dressed?
No, I had a shower, so I wasn't any point in getting dressed, so...
I did think about you last night when the Prime Minister said that we should all do... We can only go out once a day. I thought, that's going to fuck you right up if you've got to go out every day, as opposed to every month.
Does it mean every day? Do you have to go out, or can I just sit on my arse and watch telly all day?
No, he's going to send the police round, Tony, every day to knock on everyone's door and see, have you been out yet? That's what he's going to do.
Fuck that, I'd rather get the virus.
Speaking about getting the virus, Tony, we've got the old band back together.
Yes, indeed. It's the one and only Sandy, Randy, Yandy, Gallagher.
Oh.
Yeah,
He's drinking, Tony. Look, he's having a beer.
yeah, it looks like decent stuff, actually. That advice beer there, I see.
No.
I'm on the old red, me.
Oh, Brewdog.
Lager.
Stick that up your ass.
If I
Not
press
if
that
you're getting it
button,
for
what's
free,
going to happen?
Tony.
I'm doing it.
Hold on. Is Brewdog, is that the place up at CMK? Is that the one that's got their own pub?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, no, fuck them. £5.50 for their own beer. Fuck off.
I'll be honest with you, Tony. It doesn't matter because you're not going to the pub for a significantly long time, are you?
No, Dan McCullough actually texted me on Friday night.
What did he say? Do you want to go to the pub before they shut?
Yeah, no, he wanted me to go for a pint. I don't think he was even aware that it was the last night.
Oh, I don't know.
Fucking idiot.
So how are we all doing
How
now?
are you, Rossi, you McFlossy?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Getting by despite the current situation. It's a bit scary at times, but also a bit surreal.
It is a little bit surreal. Are you working?
Yeah. Fortunately, I was actually someone who worked from home a lot before this came in anyway, so I'm used to working from home.
I'll tell you who I feel sorry for.
Who?
Well, the first victim of being sent home from work. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Can you imagine it? Sneezing phones in. Gaffer, the lads didn't pick me up in the minibus this morning. Gaffer, nobody here by 7:30. Nothing. Not even had a fucking call. It's 8:00. Yeah, sorry, mate. The lads weren't too comfortable working with you. Just if you don't mind staying at home. The government are going to pay you your 80% anyway. But we work all day and we don't get paid. Well, even better then. You can sit home and fuck all day.
I'm off.
Yeah, that was the first victim of having to stay at home. But I've been off since last Tuesday, and I was told yesterday I'll be off indefinitely. I'll just checking my work emails there. Actually, there's some instructions about how to work from home, but
can you work from home? Yeah.
Only one thing I can do, so I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen.
I'm off. I went in yesterday anyway, and just like I voluntarily said, I'd be off for a month, and then obviously last night. But you could see it coming a mile away, couldn't you? What was going to happen? So,
yeah, it just happened quite quickly, didn't it? Because it felt like they were dragging their feet, and then all of a sudden Boris has come out. Mind you, how fucking stupid are people? They see the photos of people going for walks and traffic jams, driving up to wherever, and unbelievable.
I took the dog out.
Unbelievable.
I took the dog out tonight for my, for the one time we're allowed to go out. And there was a woman with a kid, and we've got like a playground behind us in the park, and this kid was climbing all over this thing. And I just said to her, I said, these places are closed. And she said, what do you want me to do about that? And I genuinely did say, well, you could get you and your fucking kid out of there for a start. Because of you, I've had to sit in all day. But no, I mean, I don't know what to say. What can you say? I'm not a policeman, Tony.
In Ross?
Yeah, I haven't been out today. I mean, I might go out for a bike ride later in the week, but that's
the
just
banned bike riding, mate. They banned it tonight.
Once a day.
No, tonight. He's banned it tonight.
No,
the Prime Minister.
They're banning cyclists just for being wankers.
No, that is why it is. Not because of this. Just banning
the
them.
virus. Just they're basically going through all the scum. So there's the people that are just going out without any consideration for anybody else with the coronavirus. Cyclists because they're all wankers. Just those two groups of people at the moment. So you said about the idiots going out at the weekend. Well, there was a pub in Greenock that decided to open on Saturday.
Yeah, but all the idiots are from Greenock, Sandy. You know that.
Called Cheers, and some old guy went down there, tell him, what are you doing? You're just a bunch of fucking idiots and all that. And basically what happened is they ended up beating him up. So then basically the old police came down and arrested them up for assault.
Well, that's just an average day in Greenock anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, I haven't been out since I went down to Tesco on Saturday morning at 6:30.
What did you buy, Tony? 48 toilet rolls?
Well, the queues were ridiculous. I bought a duvet and some sausages. Every Saturday I have sausage sandwich. I love a hot sausage in the morning.
Well, I'm pleased for you.
Ooh, matron. So yeah, it was crazy. I thought if I get there before even 7 o'clock, I thought it'd be a stretch, but no, it was rammed at 6:30 on Saturday morning. So that's me done now. I've got more soup and beans than one man needs for several weeks. So I'm probably going to run out of bread. But I don't know.
Tony, have you got flour?
Have I got a toilet?
Have you got flour?
Have I got flour?
Yeah.
No. You think I make my own bread?
You think he's going to bake bread, Sandy? Come on.
Flatbreads are really easy to make.
Yeah, it is.
Flatbreads are really easy to make.
All the ingredients for bread have also sold out. Because other people, strangely enough...
I'll tell you what I'll do. They've said I'll bake some bread.
I might have run out of bread here. I might run out of bread. I think I'll buy all the ingredients. So, yeah, there's people sitting there with... I can't remember what's in bread, but flour, yeast...
Water.
So I've got water.
Okay. You've got water. You've got one of the ingredients, anyway. I've got some... seriously, Tony, I've got some bad news, mate.
What's that?
The podcast dog passed away last week.
I saw that. I didn't want to say anything because I know every time I came down for the podcast, I said, is he still alive? I felt quite bad now asking that every week.
No, well, he did go last Thursday, so...
Yeah.
Not great, is it?
No, well, he was...
He was 18, Tony.
Barely breathing, was he?
18 years old, Tony.
Hey, what's that in dog years? Ross?
Hey! Go on, Sandy, what is it? It's 126.
Oh, there we go.
No, it's 18.
Wow, that's
I said,
old.
what is it in dog years, you fucking idiot?
18.
18 times, so that's 70 plus 56. Yeah, 126.
126. I'm good at maths. You've taught me maths, Tony, doing this podcast.
Well, episode 32. What's 32?
Yes.
Prime number?
No.
How can it be a prime number?
Fucking hell. Have you not been listening?
No, he hasn't been.
2 to the power of 5.
The other thing I was going to ask you about, Tony.
Yeah.
So, I understand from others there's been a development at the stadium. They've started putting Camden Hills lager on tap in the bars.
That's correct.
Is it good?
No.
I haven't had one yet. I've been meaning to get round to it for ages. I just wanted to make sure the glass that it was served in is a pint, which several people have now confirmed it is a full pint that goes into the glass, even though it's like a bit of a TARDIS glass. It seems to be bigger on the inside than it looks from the outside.
So what do you normally drink on a match day, you two?
Guinness.
Guinness.
No, I don't. I have that. They got some kind of concrete cow, like bitter or not bitter. I don't know what it is. It's nice though.
Yeah, I'm going to try the Camden.
That's it, Camden on draft. It's nice. It really is.
Yeah, that's good.
The only thing
That's
is,
a
I
good
think it'll be a bit
improvement.
strong for me.
I'll be honest with you. It's going to be a long time before I have one of those. It really is.
Yeah, so that's been put back to, what, the 30th of April, isn't it now?
Yeah, well, that's optimistic, isn't it? Let's be honest. I'd be surprised
Well,
if it's...
I think that's, 5 weeks away, roughly?
Yeah, that's not going to happen, mate.
I doubt it.
I
I
would
doubt
be
it very much.
surprised. What do you think, Sandy? Remember the last time you were... Maybe we should tell everyone who Sandy actually is, Tony, because quite a lot of people won't know Sandy.
That's true. Well, Sandy, he was a Don's regular, home and away.
He was.
He was also one of our co-hosts on the radio show and podcast.
And the first when we did the podcast, when we first started
What, 2
this.
years? Rough 2 years? Was it roughly?
I worked out it was for about 3.
3
Was it
years,
really?
man alive.
Blimey.
God, we
Or
were
4.
patience of saints, me and you, Tony.
Yeah, so Sandy he stopped coming after he had a nervous breakdown on a train coming back from Walsall, I think it was, when I repeatedly beat him about the head with a newspaper and he finally snapped and refused to ever come back to football, which he, to be fair, hasn't done since.
No,
So
I've seen him a couple of times, Tone, be honest.
Yeah.
What, games?
I've seen him at the Man United game.
Oh, well, that doesn't count, does
Yeah,
it?
he's a glory hunter now, Tone.
I was at the Bolton game.
And he was at the Bolton game, I think.
Bolton. Really? Well, I never.
And Brazil Cameroon.
Well, obviously, everybody
Who were you
was there for
supporting that? Who were you supporting? Cameroon? Bet you were Cameroon, Sandy.
Nah, well, I quite like Brazil, but then Neymar put me off because he was a complete twat that night.
Oh, don't be like that, Sandy.
He was, though. He was. He
He-
just wanted to get off, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right, I'm
But then-
interjecting here because what I'm saying is, basically tonight, we don't really know what we're going to talk about. I've asked for some questions which we've had, and I'm only going to ask one because, to be quite honest, I want to keep them for the next week. So tonight is just basically us just getting this back up and running because we weren't sure whether we were going to keep doing it, but we decided, Tony, that it's a public service and we have to keep going.
Yeah, well, I thought you mentioned music, and now Ross is there.
He doesn't like music. He likes the Proclaimers.
What do you listen to music, Ross, or you
Yeah,
not?
I do, yeah.
What do you listen to?
The Proclaimers.
No,
Deacon
well,
Blue.
yeah, them, but Churches,
Churches.
List Capaldi.
What? Church music like?
Capaldi. Fucking hell. This is going to be interesting.
That's going to be good, John.
Of Monsters Men.
Right.
You got us there.
Uh,
Do you like anything that's like good, Sandy?
Anything mainstream we'll know.
Nothing like recent. I mean, I listen to a lot of older music nowadays, like from the 60s and 70s.
Tom Jones.
Motown, that kind of stuff.
He likes Tom Jones, Tony.
Oh, you can't. You say, are you unlike the coronavirus, isn't it? That Tom Jones syndrome. Well, it's not unusual.
Oh, God.
So what we're going to do this week is basically just talk a load of rubbish. But next week, I've decided...
Yeah, we were talking about music, right? So I thought we're never going to agree on music,
No.
me and you.
No, that's true.
Because, not that I dislike your music, but you listen to a lot of stuff I wouldn't listen to.
Joy
I'm not
Division,
saying-
Tony. We had them at the beginning of the podcast.
Can we agree? Can we find a genre that we both hate? Or all three of us, maybe? I'll throw my hat in the ring
Go on,
straight
go on.
up with soft rock,
Yeah, I'm not keen.
like Scorpions and that fucking bloke with the hair.
Well, that narrows it
wanker.
down, doesn't it? Not
Bon
us three.
Jovi. Bon Jovi, what a
Oh,
load
no,
of
I don't like him.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's killed that then.
What
Right.
about Genesis? What's that genre of music?
Oh, prog rock.
Prog rock. Oh, mate,
Oh,
no.
God,
I'm not
now,
having
now
that.
we're cooking. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, a lot of that isn't very good.
Yeah, right. We don't like prog
Soft
rock.
Anything like that lot that's coming to the stadium or not.
Oh,
probably
no.
not.
But they're not coming now, are they?
Who's that?
My
So-
Chemical Romance.
Yeah, they got a couple of good songs.
I knew you'd
but-
like My Chemical Romance. I knew it, Sandy.
Well, I listen to them, and I will always listen now before I pass judgment. And I said this online, and I genuinely mean it. They sound like Busted, but not as good. They honestly do sound exactly like Busted.
A less happy Busted, like depressed Busted.
Well, that's the other thing, the emos and the goths, but it's not fucking slit your wrist music. I'm sorry, it's not. It's actually quite upbeat, I thought.
I've never listened to them, but I've decided I don't like them. Just by osmosis.
I did you know I managed a band about 15 years
really?
ago?
Were they like Oasis, Tony?
I managed a band. They were exactly like Oasis. In fact, someone described them
like Oasis.
In the one review that we had.
They sound a bit like Oasis.
Really good. They were very, very good. We rehearsed 3 times a week. They were really tight. I would let them have, depending on where we were, if it was a gig or rehearsals, I'd let them have 1 pint or a can before they started.
See, that's where you made your mistake, Tony. Every time I played a gig, I was absolutely paralytic.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't let my dads do it, but I always got absolutely battered. And we had one review which, for various reasons, mainly because, I know I can't, they might be listening, but suffice to say, someone upset the person that was reviewing our performance. And yeah, the review wasn't that great, let's put it that way. But no, I really enjoyed it. I loved managing the band, and yeah, I just used to get absolutely hammered and make them play Rock and Roll Star over and over.
Is that at the time that you were drunk in my living room at 2 a.m, pretending to be Liam Gallagher doing that song? And that's when you and Dan drank a bottle of Advocate.
That's every night, Sandy.
Yeah, I mean, who invites people back to their house and only has some Advocate?
A snowball, Tony. Is that what you had?
No, I just drank it straight out of the bottle. It's horrific.
Mate. It's like custard.
Yeah, so in the end, because for some reason Ross wouldn't let us watch Babe Station, but we were allowed to watch video MTV or something or other. So yeah, what was that, New Year's Eve, was it, or was it Christmas?
No, that was just a random night.
Was that just a normal night out?
It was in like January or February.
We had a few. Do you remember the time the 3 of us went to Barnet?
Oh, thank you. My dinners arrived.
Oh, God.
John threw up in the taxi about 100 yards from his house.
Remember that? Oh. That was a good night, that. It wasn't.
What you got there? He's eating a curry.
It's chilli, mate.
Oh, it's a chili.
Right. Let me tell you how what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. Like I said, tonight we're just going to be messing about. I have got a question and I'm going to ask it. But next week, Tony, we are going to pick our all-time top MK Dons team. That's what we're going to do.
Right, is that a positions team or our favourite all-time players?
Well, it's best goalkeeper, your back four, your midfield, and your strikers. So that's
can I have a favourite 11 as well then?
Yeah, you can do that, and you got to pick a manager, and you got to have a bench. So that's what we'll be doing next week. And if you're listening to this, please, we'd like you to send yours in as well.
Yeah, mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com.
Or you can do it via the old Twitter feed.
We did get...
We've had some questions,
I asked people to email in about things that annoy them.
Oh, I've got one, Tony, straight away, and I think you know what it is.
What's that?
It's the keytar.
Oh, my God.
Remember that from the 1980s? It's like a keyboard, but they had it round their neck like a guitar. Man, I hate that.
Did anybody actually play that? Because
have you got one, Ross?
I can honestly, I never saw anybody. I saw it on Top of the Pops.
Do you know who's got one?
Many gigs in the 80s, I have to say. So.
Do you know who's actually got one?
Who?
It's someone we know. Not me. Go on,
Brando.
guess. Yes.
Oh, I knew it. Of course he has.
Of course he's got one.
I bet he's got a one of them machines as well.
What is that?
What's it called, Rossi?
A washing machine.
What's it called? The thing. It's something in Theremin. That's it. Anyway, Rogers emailed in absolute annoyances, he's called
Oh,
it,
go on.
which I like. I'll give you my top two in reverse order. Assume instead of assume.
Yep.
ASHUME. Where do people get the H from? Do you know, I've genuinely never seen that.
I've never seen it, but I'm
Never
giving him the
seen
benefit of the doubt.
What
Yeah, I've not seen that.
What I did see today is someone replying to something on Facebook, and there were probably about 15 posts on there, and every time someone typed in "hope you're well" or something like that, they spelled it
Y-O-U-R. Oh, no.
every single time. Not a single person got it right.
Well, they're not well then, are they, Tony, those people?
Well, and asterisk instead of asterisk.
He died today, didn't he?
And after you're more likely to asterisk.
guy.
The bloke that...
But at the same time, I very rarely see that written down. But I have to agree with Roger there on the old asterisk thing. I really do.
The bloke that drew Asterix the Goal died today.
Yeah,
That's killed the conversation. Stone dead,
No, it was a
that.
heart attack. It was nothing to do with COVID-19, no.
Who did? What? Sorry. I just noticed we had another email.
Oh, right. The guy that drew Asterix the Goal died today.
Oh, he did, yes. Yes, he did, yeah. I heard that on the news earlier.
But Sandy's assured me that it was not COVID-19 related.
It was a heart attack.
Heart attack, Tone.
Oh, right, okay. I did like the Asterix books, I have to say. They were very funny.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And the drawings did add a lot to it.
What about you, Sandy? Who was your favourite character? Mine was Getafix, the druid. Come on, make a decision now. Come on, hurry up.
I can't remember the characters' names, but
What
it was
about
very good.
Obelix?
Oh, Dogmatics was
Dogmatics,
good.
I knew you'd go for
Yeah,
Dogmatics.
Dogmatics was great.
Yeah, Fix was very good, yeah.
Right, we have had a question, Tone, if you want me, and it's directed at you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know who sent it, because, quite honestly, I've cut his name off the thing. But he has asked me to ask, he has asked, during your time as Kitman, what was your best, worst, and weirdest things you've experienced? Go with best first.
The best first?
Yeah, go for best. What was your best experience as being a Kitman?
Manchester United, obviously.
We've had that discussion on here before.
Promotion to the Championship, obviously.
That was a good day, that.
I tell you what, right, and I don't tell a lot of people this, and I'm just about to, but the best thing about being Kitman was that I could go anywhere and do anything.
And people would ignore you.
No, it's not that the fact that they knew me, it was the fact that I could do whatever I wanted. I could literally walk into a pub, or I used to go everywhere in my tracksuit. If I was going out for a sesh, and I must have met up with you, Rossi, several times when...
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
When I had my tracksuit, I never ever got refused entry
You come
anywhere.
straight from a match with TH written on your jumper.
Yeah, I would get into places like...
TK Maxx?
Yeah. I would get into places like...
Greg's!
Missoula. I would go into Missoula in full tracksuit.
Where's Missoula?
At like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night.
They didn't think you were a player, did
They
they?
wouldn't bat an eyelid. They wouldn't bat an eyelid. So that was a perk, I suppose, more than anything else. But the obvious ones, yeah, Manchester United getting promoted on the last day. What was it? The best, the worst, and...
The worst and the weirdest. What was the worst thing you ever done? That's got to be stairs, isn't it, Tony? Kryptonite for a Kitman, your stairs.
Yeah. First time I went to Bradford. I would say the worst thing, or the worst day, there's a few. There would be Carlisle away where I forgot Anthony Kay's boots, or his studs.
Oh, I know. I can think one, Tony. The first game in the Championship when you forgot to put the numbers on the shorts.
The shorts, yeah.
Don't talk about that, do we?
I'd say the worst day was coming back. We came back from Ireland pre-season on a Friday. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, got back to Milton Keynes.
God, he's down that pint. No wonder did you see that, Tony?
Yeah.
He downed that pint.
It.
No wonder I took Sandy there. Sorry.
And the following day, we had two pre-season games, one at Stony and one at Aylesbury, I think it was.
On the same day?
On the same day, and I had to prepare and get ready for both. So yeah, got back. Well, left Ireland at 5 in the morning. Got back at 5 in the afternoon. Didn't leave the stadium till midnight, and then was back in the stadium at 7 o'clock the next morning to do those 2 games. That's the worst. That was horrible. That was absolutely horrible.
You must have had 6 hours sleep at least. What's the matter with you?
Oh, I probably had 7 hours sleep because the
that's
second
fine,
I would have lain down, I would have fallen asleep. And the weirdest thing, the weirdest thing is, I would say probably again just the way that people treat you. Because Carl did say to me, people are gonna treat you differently now. They're gonna be your mate or they're gonna be your enemy, and they'll hate you. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm just the kit man or whatever. It's not like I'm not in your position. He said, trust me. He said, people's attitude will change. And honestly, it was like overnight, the way that people spoke to me was weird. It was just totally, I did not expect it at all.
What did they say to you, like?
Well, a lot of it was people that I knew would just
ignore you.
Totally off with me and not talk to me at all.
That was me.
Or if I was in Asda, for instance, I'd see people stop and talking and looking and pointing. What the fuck is going on?
What were you buying?
I was just shopping. I wasn't.
But what were you buying?
Oh, I've got a message.
I can't remember. It was fucking 5 years ago.
I mean, he's not an elephant, Sandy. You can't remember
the
everything.
weirdest is the way that people, the way that people talk to you or they treat you or the way they react to you. It's like very, very odd. And the first time I was asked for an autograph,
Who asked you for an autograph? Go on, no way.
Oh yeah, loads of times.
Family members don't count, mate. Can I have your autograph?
That's the weirdest. Being asked for my autograph the first
Who
time.
did you think you were?
I have no idea. I don't know. But they knew who I was. But that was So that's probably the weirdest thing. That is, and also doing a podcast with Sandy for 3 years.
Well, that didn't please me. I got to be honest. I wasn't happy with that scenario myself. So then, Sandy, tell us why you stopped going to the Dons, mate.
Well, there was a lot of stuff, like, it costs a lot of money, once the season I stopped going, I went too much. I went to every single home and away game, and I worked it out at the end of the year, and it's probably about $3,500.
It's a lot of money, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it is about that. Home and away, it's roughly about that, yeah.
And to be honest with you, most of the matches I only enjoyed if I was drunk. And, there's something about drinking rubbish beer and eating reheated weird pies.
Remember that time, Sandy, you took a Bible to a football match?
Yes.
He's just admitted that, Tony, that he took a Bible to a football match.
A what?
A Bible.
Oh, that was a radar thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Radar was trying to get the power of God. I mean, we didn't get relegated that year, so I suppose it worked.
There you go. You've done it, Tom.
I thought Radar used his to threaten opposition goalkeepers.
It was a goalkeeper thing, wasn't it?
He was performing an exorcism in Crawley. It was in Crawley, away.
Right. Just kidding.
Remember that?
Go on.
Do you remember the little kid Jake who him and his mum went to? Yeah, little Jake.
I remember him. Yeah.
And he loved all the goalkeepers, and we went to Hartlepool, and he stood down by the goal, waiting for their goalkeeper, and their goalkeeper came over. What was his name? It was good. It was a good goalkeeper.
Flinders,
yeah.
Bloody hell, Ross! How should you remember that?
Keeper that.
Flinders. Flinders. Anyway, this Flinders came over. He went to shake Jake's hand. Jake put his hand out and he went, "How's your wife and my kids?" Anyway, at the time he's like 13.
He was really young at the time, that kid.
Oh, it's brilliant. Flinders.
Right, Tony, we've had a tweet from a guy called Kieran,
Oh, right.
and he has
Thank
asked. Now, this is you're going to laugh here. He said,
Yeah.
"What are your expectations for next season?" Well, mine would be if it starts. To be quite honest with you, I'd be happy with that.
Depending on which year it starts.
I doubt very much it'll be this year.
It is a good question because this whole, the contracts thing is going to be.
There's that, yeah.
Players are going to be either wanting their contracts extended or they could be running out literally halfway through this season. Well, not halfway through, but we could be talking.
When do they finish? Is it June the 1st? Is that when? Is that when they finish? June the 1st?
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I've got a supposition then. What happens then? This is just purely hypothetical. What happens if the season gets back up and running and then say, just pick this random day, October the 4th, someone in the country tests positive for this COVID-19. What happens then if we're all back at football matches? What's going to happen then? Ask yourself that.
Oh, go on, Ross.
He's not a scientist. Don't put it all on him.
Well, they'd probably be ready. They were probably going to lockdown more readily. Although then again, they might not be as worried because there might be that herd immunity thing. So, not sure. A lot more folk would be immune, but also we might be lucky. They might have developed a treatment for it by then. I'm not sure.
What I'm interested to know is when do we know it's safe?
Well,
because
you won't know, will you?
Obviously, if people are, if we all stay at home, less people get infected, obviously.
Correct.
But when we all start going out again in 2 months, 3 months, whenever it is, how do we know it's safe again to do so?
I don't know if it's a matter of being safe. I think it's more a case of levelling it out so the hospitals can cope better.
Yeah, this is why they're telling us to stay in, isn't it? To sort of deaden the curve of infections, because you're not going to stop infections. What they're asking us to do is stay indoors so that the curve of infections is slowed down and the NHS can cope with it better, because you're not going to stop people getting infected, are you? Whatever you do.
They may go back to having the matches indoors because behind closed doors, because it'll be for the good of the morale of people. So that may happen sooner rather than later.
That's a possibility, but at the same time, you've also got the issue with
players tackling one another for a start. That's not too much apart, is it?
Are people going to get? If footballers are allowed to play against each other, then I'm going out down the pub or whatever.
Obviously, yeah.
Good point. But then also there's the whole matter of are certain clubs going to actually be around? Because clubs that rely on gate receipts, their income's gone now.
Yeah, there's no point in the clubs playing behind closed doors because they'll actually lose even more money.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, good point.
Unless the games are broadcast and people are prepared to pay for a game they've already paid for.
I've changed my opinion on that, because the last time we did one of these I said I wouldn't be, but now I genuinely would pay a tenner to watch it. I really would.
I'd be happy. I'd pay for it. I'm not going to lie. I would definitely pay for it because I don't want to miss a game. But
he's put his hand up there. Did you see that?
So here's the question: how much are you guys missing going to games?
At the minute, I'm not missing it at all.
I'm missing. Yeah, I'm badly missing football.
I think it's going to start. This is just really the first day of being locked down, isn't it? So I've been out. I've taken the dog for a walk. It's been all right. I've watched a load of nonsense on the telly, but that's not going to last for me. I will eventually end up going really stir crazy here, so I will eventually end up missing football. But there's plenty of football online if you want to find it. Like old games and that kind of thing. You can do that, which we'll probably end up doing. What I thought.
I've got Disney Plus.
What games are they showing?
No, well, I've got it for the grandkids, innit? And because there's a lot of good Disney films out there. So I decided to watch Star Wars, from the beginning.
Oh, no, I don't do that.
Oh, mate, honestly, episode 1, I can't remember what it's called, but
What's it called, Ross? Go on. A New
Phantom
Hope.
Menace.
The Phantom Menace. I tell you what.
Oh, are you talking about chronologically, Tony? Are you talking chronologically? Or are you...
I've ever seen in my life.
No, it's awful. It's awful. It is awful.
Who's in it?
The acting, the premise, everything's just bad about it.
What's the one that's got the guy with the red and black face? That's a good one.
That's episode 1.
Yeah, that's a good one, that is.
Yeah,
he's the best bit in it. It's Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, his name is, Tony.
Yeah, that's him.
He could play up front for Milton Keynes, he could.
He burst the ball, though. He's got them...
He couldn't head the ball, could he? That's for sure.
No, he couldn't head the ball.
Don't head it, mate! Whatever you do.
He could have played instead of Powley.
So, if you guys are stuck with live sport, Tony, I don't know if Dan's filled you in on this, but there is still some live sport happening.
There is
on
not.
the internet.
There isn't.
Such as what?
Marbula 1. So, live marble racing.
I've seen that. It is actually genuinely alright.
Yeah.
Oh, the marble racing. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, I enjoy that. Is there other videos then?
Yeah. And also, the qualifying's live at 7:30 on Saturdays, and the races are live at 7:30 on Sundays.
Oh, definitely watch it. It's mesmerising. I mean, the one I watched, was it Comet?
Oh, hit the central reservation.
And then it fell right to the back, and then it just came
and then
from
it went
nowhere.
right to the
Brilliant
front. I've
stuff.
seen that. It's brilliant.
Genuinely exciting.
They're
Paddy
having...
Power trick.
Let's carry on. They're having some sort of like FIFA tournament, and our bloke did really well, didn't he? The Milton Keynes guy did really well. Put some professional like FIFA like PlayStation guy out in the first round.
7-1 or something.
Yeah, he
didn't
battered the guy, and then the guy threw a huff, didn't he, and like blocked everyone.
Did he?
Really
I love it when
he did,
people
yeah.
do that. I absolutely love it.
So good luck to us. We're into the second round, Tony, the FIFA Cup. Maybe we should watch it and talk about it next week.
Yeah. So how does that work? I mean, is it like is it all the teams in England or?
It is, yeah. They've asked people
I
to.
think they were invited. I don't actually know if it's if everybody took part. There were a couple that refused to, like Tranmere wouldn't go near it.
Someone else wouldn't touch it, would they?
Because
for ethical reasons. I don't know what it was.
Something to do with the sun, so
right, that's fair enough.
Yeah, can understand that. Oh, well, that reminds me. Our mate Piers actually said something worth seeing, didn't he, today?
Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
What did he say?
I know it's unusual, but he said. Let's have a look.
You're looking for it now on your phone.
No, I'm on my laptop looking at.
Where are you trying to find that? So Real Madrid, they're in Spain. They've actually got a player from each La Liga team representing their club, and the Real Madrid players, 3 of them wanted to do it, so they had a playoff to decide who would represent their club.
Right, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
There has been a real sense of community throughout the whole country, concerning this. Apart from the obvious idiots that thought it was all right to go to the pub or go for a walk in parks and all that, but I think the vast majority of people have genuinely taken it on board, don't you think?
Well, yes and no.
Yes and no. Go on. Are you there?
What was the question?
I can't remember now.
The vast majority of people have taken on board it, and there's a bit of a community spirit, and you said yes and no.
Sorry. I thought you meant taking on the advice to stay at home.
I think most people have.
It does seem to be a little bit. I mean, what I am liking is all these freebies that are being chucked about.
What freebies?
Like my grandkids this morning, or every morning at 9 o'clock now, are doing their PE with this bloke on YouTube.
Oh, see, that's good, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and she said there were 1 million people watching it at the same time as them, and another 2 million or something who had viewed it after it was recorded, after it was live as well.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? I think exercise will become a problem.
Lots of things. You want to learn a foreign language?
No.
I think there's a Rosetta. Is it Rosetta Stone?
Rosetta Stone, yeah.
It's not a foreign language, is it? The Rosetta Stone.
Yeah. Free piano lessons until September.
That'd be good for you.
Harold Boderman's doing math lessons.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need math lessons, Tony. You're a maths genius.
Yeah, you are.
You could actually set up your own maths lessons.
Teach people prime numbers daily.
Yeah, but I started on about prime numbers and got caught out straight away, didn't I? Because one isn't a prime number.
Yeah, it's not a prime number, so. So what's Piers Morgan said? Because I found him on Twitter. I can't find what he said. Is that about Sports Direct?
I can't remember exactly what it... I mean, he said... I can't even remember what it was about now. Because he's been commenting on everything.
Yeah, it's not like him to comment on everything, is it, either?
No, exactly.
He's not happy with Sports Direct, I know that.
No, I saw that as well. But they closed down anyway, didn't they?
He's told Michael Gove to get a grip. He said that.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably... I can't find it now.
Who cares what he says? The man's an idiot.
If anyone is interested...
He's basically echoing what a lot of us said, stop being so fucking selfish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'd like to know, right? One thing we'll never know is how many of these people who went out on Saturday and Sunday, particularly on Sunday, how many of those got infected as a result?
Yep.
How many will actually die? How many they'll pass it on to who will then die? But I'd really like for those people to be named and shamed.
I would, I've got to be honest. I genuinely would.
But I'd love to just ask them, what was your reasoning for doing that?
Because they're selfish, Tony.
Well,
that's why.
Yeah, the guys in Greenock that went down that pub,
and
the
beat
Scottish
someone
Sun
up
went down
and knocked someone out,
photographs,
and beat someone up.
Yeah, they also posted photographs.
This was after Friday, was it?
Yeah, it was Saturday. The pub just decided to open.
Really?
And all these guys went down it, and the Scottish Sun went down to take photos of them, and they all posed for it with pints, looking happy and celebrating.
Not cool, is it?
So surely that pub will now be shut down or fined or...
Yeah, you'd have thought. I don't think they'll get their licence renewed. But then this guy's a bit of a character. He's also in trouble for driving his Ferrari too fast through the streets of Greenock.
Who has a Ferrari in Greenock?
I'll be honest with you. I was just about to say that is a sentence I thought I'd never heard. Drove his Ferrari really fast through the streets of Greenock.
I can see only one thing happening to that Ferrari.
It's okay, huh?
And I'd be one of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would. I'll send you the video after, because actually, do you know what the pub's actually called that was open? It's called Cheers, and they've actually mocked up Cheers intro music with the fighting, because it's all on YouTube, everybody's phones.
I'm going to find that.
I'll send it you. I can send it you now if you want.
Right, I'm going to be honest with you. We've done 3/4 of an hour of talking rubbish. So what do you think?
I think this is a precursor to next week, where we'll try and be a bit more...
We'll be better next week. This is just basically... What we're doing, Tony, is we're doing our bit for the country's morale. That's what this is.
Yeah, no, and it's good to go back and fulfill a function anyway.
It is, yeah. So next week, what we're going to do is, like we said before, me and Tony, and if you want to be on it, Sandy, it's up to you. You want to be interested next week or what?
Actually, tell you what, because we can get 50 connections on a Skype meeting. So
50?
if you're interested, if you're interested in taking part or being part of the Best Dons 11 debate, then drop us a line. Even if we can't get you on next week, we might have a free for all at some point, because this is going to be us for at least until the end of the April.
Yeah, at least. So what we are going to do one of these every week. So don't.
Yeah, if you want to take part in one, get in touch with us. mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com. Send us your Skype ID as well, and we'll get you in. Yeah, we might just have a free for all. I think.
Get you in. We're not getting them in, Tony. Let's be honest. That's the last thing we're doing is getting them in.
Yeah. So if you've always wanted to come on the show,
now's your chance.
So nervous, you can stay anonymous. You can just be a voice. You can just be a voice on the podcast. No one needs to know your name or who you are if you don't want to know. If you don't want people to know. Do you want to see my pajamas?
I can't see you on this. I've only got Ross. I can't find you on the... Oh, there you are. Right, there you are, Tony.
Yeah,
that's better. They're lovely pajamas.
Hey, Christmas pajamas.
That's better. How did that not happen earlier on?
I didn't see. There's no point in us being on video because this is all audio, isn't it? So.
Oh, it's good for me though, Tony. I need to see people.
All right. Well, there I am. in my lazy boy.
I can't actually see your head. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, it vibrates as well. Look.
Oh, God. Nothing
Oh
to
no, I've
work.
unplugged it.
Right, so we're just finishing up, but next week we'd like you to send your your best team in. And they can be lone players, they can be people that we've forgot about, anything you like. But we want a goalkeeper and back four, midfield and strike force, and a bench and a manager. And a kit man. That's going to be good, Tony, isn't it, if we have a kit man?
Yeah, pick your favourite kit man from that long list of kit men.
We have 2 kit men.
Well, 3.
3, I
actually.
forgot about him, eh?
Yeah.
Right, so I think we'll call it a night then, eh?
Yes,
yeah.
indeed. They're good to see you, Rossi.
Yeah, and if
Are you growing a beard or are you just not shaving?
just not shaving.
He's gone
all I
stir
will say-
crazy, Tony. He's gone stir crazy already.
Yeah. If anyone is interested in Marble One, it's on YouTube. Marble racing on YouTube.
Is that link you've just sent?
No, actually, this is the pub thing.
Well, that's the pub fight he sent, Tony. I'll watch that. Right, just before we go, this is a public service announcement. Please do not go out. Please stay in, because let's be honest, if you guys go out, it means I've got to stay in longer. And it's been a laugh today, but I'm going to get seriously fed up with it pretty quickly. So please stay in until all this nonsense is finished.
Right, I'm watching some Marbula 1 now.
Are you watching it, Tone? I'm going to watch it when this is finished. Any good, Tone?
There seems to be there's quite a bit of an intro.
Nah, I don't want an intro.
I just want to see marbles racing. Come
Nah,
on.
forget that. Say goodbye, Tony.
Right, see you
Bye,
later.
Tony.
See you
Right.
next week.
We'll see you
Bye,
next.
guys.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. I'm sorry this one's been a bit of a ramble, but under the circumstances, I think you're lucky enough to have it. So we will see you next week, and please send your all-time top, Milton Keynes Dons team in. Okay, right. See you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.